The Chicago Cubs have signed and probably made their last acquisition of the offseason with Justin Turner. That was made and reported by Patrick Mooney. I believe Patrick Mooney of The Athletic was first to it this morning, right around, I want to say, and then it became official about a half hour later. So just want to do a very brief instant reaction to this signing, and then we'll come back and talk about it, tonight for tomorrow's show, the whole kind of official reaction and analysis from it. I like this move. I like this move for the Cubs. Look, it's not the move that we were hoping for about a week ago at this time. But I do believe this move makes the Cubs better, and I'm going to tell you why. First, let's talk about Justin Turner. Let's talk about his strengths and his limitations. Last year, he had a very solid offensive campaign. He batted 259 with a very solid 354 on base. The slug was only 383. He was still a well above average hitter in the major leagues, according to WRC Plus, where he was a 117. He hits lefties and righties about the same, but I think him hitting lefties will be his main role on this team. He played 139 games last year, which I didn't realize. That's a lot of games. He's not going to play that many for the Cubs. So I think having him in a limited role, hopefully will cancel out his main limitation, which is his age. His age is his main limitation. He's 40 years of age, which it's hard to play any professional sport at a high level at 40 years of age, and unless you're LeBron James. But I think he pretty much had a full plate last year in terms of offensively. He appeared in 139 games, so he'll play some less games, and hopefully that'll help him. But really, I think this move's about two things, guys. I think number one, from a baseball standpoint, and then number two, from a baseball standpoint, but an off the field kind of leadership standpoint. For number one, I think this helps the Cubs with the Michael Busch situation at first. If Counsell doesn't feel comfortable playing him there all the time versus lefties, you now have a right-handed option that you feel really good about. And then, if you don't want to use Turner a ton versus righties, he's still a really solid late inning option off the bench, off of a lefty. He puts together a good at bat. He takes his walks. I'll talk about who I would compare his offensive profile to in a minute. But really, I think the big part of this deal, and I talked to a couple people who have played professional sports, and they all said the same, is how much this will help Matt Shaw as a mentor, as somebody to look up to, as somebody that could help him through his rookie season. I mean, Justin Turner is going to be entering his 17th year in the big leagues, and he played quite a lot of first base and quite a lot of third base, and had a lot of success doing it. I mean, in 2017, we all remember his walk-off home run against John Lackey. He had a 5.7 WAR that year. This is a guy that, once upon a time in the mid 2010s was an elite level 5 WAR third baseman. He has a really good approach. He's the type of guy you want, a guy like Matt Shaw learning from, especially offensively. He doesn't whiff a whole lot. I mean, even last year, his exit velo and those things weren't great, but he was in a majorly 70, 80th percentile in whiff rate and walk rate and swings and misses. Like, he still is really good at those things, and going to right field and knowing how to hit all those things. I think will be really, really helpful to a guy like Matt Shaw, who's trying to learn the position, learn the sport. And so because of that, I really like the move. And Justin Turner's a guy that has played in a lot of big games. He's won a World Series. He's a proven clutch hitter. He knows how to drive in runs. Like, all these things are assets to the Cubs. The deal at $6 million is kind of exactly what we thought it would be. And, 215 now for the luxury tax. That's what we kind of were hinting at pretty much all off season. So all this made sense. And, once last week when the Cubs kind of made it public, and it got a bunch of outlets. Hey, they're interested in Turner if they don't get Bregman, and then Bregman signed with Boston. This deal felt kind of inevitable, and so I'm happy with this. My initial reaction was that this is going to make the Cubs better, and now I've really thought about it, and I'm happy with it. The key with this acquisition for the Cubs is if it doesn't work out, don't wait too long to pull the plug. Like 2023, Hosmer and Mancini, I thought each of those deals, especially Hosmer, they were able to get rid of a little bit earlier because he wasn't being paid a lot. But Mancini didn't get waived and DFA'd until the trade deadline. You know what I mean? That probably cost the Cubs a game or two, and they missed the playoffs by one game. So give it a couple months. I think Justin Turner will be a very solid asset to this team, both on and off the field, especially in the clubhouse. But if it doesn't, because he's 40 years old and he hits a wall, don't wait too long. It's one of my criticisms of this regime the last few years is they wait too long to make moves. They wait too long to make adjustments. They wait too long to, it's just, hey, it's day by day. You got to be patient. Baseball's this. Like sometimes you got to just, do it. But I think the Cubs got a winner here. I think they got a really good bench piece. And offensively, if you want a comp that's very familiar to you, is he's very much like a righty Mike Tauchman. Mike Tauchman had a 357 OBP last year. Turner 354. Turner's probably got better back to ball skills, and Tauchman might have a slightly better eye, but they're very similar. They have very similar offensive profiles at this point in their career. Obviously, Turner in his prime was obviously at a different level, but he has a very similar profile. You feel good about him late in the game. You feel good about him, tie game, man on third, less than one out. Let's say Cubs are in Japan and, it's tied or they're down a run, man on third, one out, and he's got to face Tanner Scott, and he's pinch hitting for Bush in that situation against Tanner Scott. I feel very, very comfortable with him in that situation. I feel very comfortable with him hitting a ground ball past a drawn in infield to drive in a run, or going to right field to drive in a run, or getting a sac fly, or if he doesn't get anything to hit, to take his walks. You can't put a price on feeling comfortable with a guy, in a big spot like that. And at the very least, I think the Cubs did that with Turner. So on tonight's show, Matt and I will break it down. We'll probably talk roster, playing time. I don't expect Justin Turner to play much at all at third base. I really don't. I think that's still Matt Shaw's job to lose, and I would probably go as far as to say John Birdie will be his backup over there. I expect Justin Turner to back up Michael Busch over at first, get a good amount of plate appearances against left-handed pitching, and be an asset off the bench late in games when they're not facing a lefty starter. And then you can't put a price on what a guy brings in the clubhouse and with advice and all those little things with Matt Shaw. Maybe Turner helps him out on the road. Hey, it's a 10-game road trip. How are you going to deal with that? And we're going to Japan, then we're going to Arizona, and then we play Oakland, and how to deal with those things, and how to get your rest and eat right, and all these things throughout a major league season. Now Justin Turner is going to be able to help Matt Shaw and even some of the younger guys. So I think the Cubs got their backup first baseman here. I think they got their utility guy, and I think they got another clubhouse leader to their team at just $6 million. So overall, good day for the Cubs. I'm never going to complain when I feel like the Cubs got better, and the Cubs definitely got better today than they were just about an hour and a half ago. More on this tonight with our regular show. Matt will be on. We'll give our full opinion on Justin Turner. That's kind of cool to say. Justin Turner, one more time. Justin Turner is a Chicago Cub. Appreciate you guys clocking in here on the morning of a weekday, and we will see you later on. Go Cubbies.